Oh, okay. Um, I decided to do another video on healthcare, and mostly I was just gonna explain exactly how private healthcare works in America, uh, and then relate it to Obamacare and just that type of thing. So basically, in America, you buy the insurance, right? So you go out, you buy the insurance from a private insurance company. Uh, so, this basically it's true no matter how you get your insurance. So, in America, a lot of insurance is covered is provided by employers. Um, Except it's not fully provided. You still have to pay a portion of your income to cover that insurance. So you pay for your portion, and then your employer pays for a portion, and that gives you medical insurance. If your employer doesn't offer medical insurance, that means you have to buy the insurance yourself. So you got to go out to the various competing private companies and buy an insurance plan from them. Uh, Now, the glaring flaw in all of this is the insurance itself. Um, so basically, how it works, you have insurance, either through your employer or you're buying it yourself. Um, so you have the medical insurance. The thing is, the medical insurance won't cover anything. All right. So say you have a $10,000 deductible. Your medical insurance will not cover any medical procedures until you hit your deductible of $10,000. So, in other words, you have to spend $10,000 for medical related stuff for your insurance to kick in and cover typically 80%. And yeah, and then on top of that, you meet your deductible. Let's say you do meet your $10,000 deductible on your insurance plan. Then what happens is, okay, the insurance company will cover generally 80% of the medical procedure after your deductible. So that means you're responsible for 20%, which is often called the co-insurance. So it's your portion of the responsibility of the medical bills after the deductible. Okay, so the insurance company will pick up that 80% after the deductible. In this case, $10,000. Um, so you have to pay $10,000 plus 20% of whatever amount after that. $100,000, $20,000, whatever. You have to pay the 20% after that. Um, Now, the glaring problem here is, and this goes back to why Obamacare was brought up, why Obamacare became law of the land. The arguments for it. The arguments for it were, well, people are avoiding seeing the doctors because they don't have insurance, which is true. People without insurance were avoiding seeing doctors because they couldn't afford to pay the doctors for basic medical care. Just checkups, anything at all. They just couldn't afford it. It's just too much. You go to a doctor, and you have to pay $1,000 or something to see, for the doctor to check you up and all your full medical checkups and blood tests and all that jazz. If you don't have insurance, you just can't pay that. But the kicker is, if you do have insurance, it's irrelevant because you still can't pay that because the insurance won't cover it until you hit your deductible. Um, Now, my insurance plan has a $600 deductible, so I have a pretty decent insurance plan here in America. But that means I have to meet that $600. I have to have $600 worth of medical issues or whatever before my insurance covers anything. I avoid seeing a doctor. I don't have $600 to just throw down. You know, like, it, I mean, the same issue still applies. People are going to avoid seeing a doctor. So the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare or whatever, uh, it doesn't address the issue at all. I mean, at all. People can't afford to see the doctors. That's why they're not seeing the doctors. You have insurance, great. You can't afford to see a doctor because one, you have to put forward all that money to buy the insurance policy, and insurance policies are flipping expensive. Um, Under the Affordable Care Act, you get subsidies, which will kick in sooner or later. The law is taking it takes a long. It won't be fully implemented until I believe 2019. Um, a very complex law. But even if you have free private health care, even if the government, even if you manage to have full subsidies and you get the private insurance for free, it doesn't change the fact that you can't use the private insurance because it's got a deductible. You go to a doctor, you you just don't have the money. It's just not, you don't have the money. Um, Regardless of whether you have insurance or not. So it's irrelevant. The Affordable Care Act doesn't change any of that at all. Yeah, people will it increase people's insurance? Yeah. Will it decrease the general cost? Maybe, maybe, but it's irrelevant if you can't afford, the $1,000 to see a doctor. I mean, really. So yeah, and on top of that, there's like copays. So again, I have a I guess I have a Cadillac insurance medical policy. Like I said, has a $600 deductible, and I actually have no copays. But copay is basically what you're responsible for when you see the doctor. So you go to the doctor and say you have a $50 copay. You pay $50 on the spot. Now, the kicker of this is you pay that $50, you get treated, you get your everything, blah blah blah. Well, incomes in the mail will be the rest of the bill. So it'll just say $50 copay paid. The insurance company, oh well, you didn't meet your deductible. This balance will be applied to your deductible. You now owe, $1,000, $2,000. So, yeah, the Affordable Care Act doesn't solve anything. It doesn't solve the main problem. Um, and there you go. Um, Hopefully you found that informative. I don't know. Bye.